what a show. You know, nothing quite wets my whistle like attempted vehicular homicide. Like, you don't see that every day. It really gets the blood boiling, as well as other things did, you know. My name is Jordan Moser, and this is your NXT Recap and Review. Let's go. Still, your NXT champion Finn Balor kicks off the show, and he's pretty much just running through everybody that he's already beaten. You know, he talks about the Kyle O'Reilly, the Pete Dunne, the Adam Cole. He ran through everybody pretty much, except for one dude, and that is Karrion Kross, the man who never lost that title in the first place. And at NXT Stand and Deliver, that is where they will go one-on-one for the NXT Championship. And this brings out Karrion Kross and Scarlett, and he's just like, hey, bro, this match at Takeover, we need this. Everybody need this. Everybody needs to know who the real NXT champion is. And as they're just staring and glaring at each other and getting down to it, Scarlett gets in between. She's like, I see it in the cards. I've had premonitions even of both of you draped in gold. And everybody's just like, whoa, what that mean? What's she talking about? You know, what's she doing? And this eventually brings out the NXT Tag Team Champions, Danny Burch and Oney Lorcan. And they're just going to bat for their boy Pete. He's like, hey, Pete, he will take both of y'all. He beat both of y'all down. You know, he will be NXT champion one day. And it's at this that Scarlett, she kind of like, you know, not that y'all out here, why don't y'all mind putting y'all NXT tag team titles on the line against them two? And she kind of goes and seduces them to an extent to go ahead and accept that challenge for later on in the show. And so they ended up fighting in our main event, which we will get to. But definitely a solid segment. I think Kross and Balor have a nice little chemistry that they have going, and I'm looking forward to what happens on later in the night. First match of the night, we do have Austin Theory versus Dexter Loomis. We do see Austin gets a little bit of a pep talk before the match from the way on Zoom, and they're just like, hey, bro, this is the last part of your therapy. You got to go and do this alone. You got to go get it done. And so he just comes out there. He's pissed. He's going right after Loomis, slamming him into the announce table as we go into the quickest picture-in-picture I have ever seen. Like, it was right at the beginning of the match. As they traded control throughout the commercial break, we come back. Theory's in control until Loomis, he gets a kick out and kind of transitions into the silence, and Theory has to kind of elbow and get out of that a little bit. We do see a really cool spot later on in the match as Loomis is just being weird as he usually does, kind of coming up close and stuff like that, and mesmerizes Theory for a second. He's just like, nah, bro, gotta do it. Hits a nice little running knee for a 2 count as well. But we do see the end of this match as Theory is on his back. Loomis, he sticks out his hand and he helps him up. He's like, come on, bro, I got you. And Theory's like, no, man, you said all these bad things about me, man. I don't appreciate that. He eventually snaps out of that and gets his hand up and he hugs him. He's like, I knew you were my friend. I knew you had me. And Dexter, he was playing. He was lying to him. He gets the silence on eventually after Theory tries to get him with the TKO. Theory passes out, and that is it. After about 10 minutes, Loomis beats Austin Theory. This is a pretty fair match. I'm still not the biggest fan of Loomis in the ring, but definitely the story that they told, pretty exciting stuff that we've seen just stem from like the therapy and the kidnapping and everything like that. So hopefully a satisfying conclusion, hopefully, please, to everything that they had going on, of course. But yeah, a good, okay match. Next up, we have Adam Cole in the ring, and boy, is he upset. He just talks about how Kyle O'Reilly cost him last week. He was like, I wasn't mad at you, Kyle. I wasn't mad. I just didn't need you no more. You know, you were lightweight. You were dead weight. I didn't feel like carrying you no more. But now that you cost me something that I want, meaning the NXT Championship, now I got to come after you. Now I got to put you down for good. And William Regal comes out. He's like, you will do no such thing. You won't do it. No. Kyle O'Reilly is as injured as he was before after coming back here last week and attacking you. So he's been banned from the CWC until further notice. And that doesn't stop Kyle. He shows up on the screen just in a car somewhere, and he's just like, bro, like, you can be mad at me all you want. After 11 years of friendship, the feeling is mutual. Like, I gotta take you down whatever it freaking takes. And at this, Cole is like, you know what? That's fine. You don't want him to come here, Regal? That's fine. I'm gonna go find him first. And he just exits the Capitol Wrestling Center. Solid talking segment. It definitely wasn't waiting till next week to see something happen, which we'll get on to later in the show. But definitely solid talking and promos from both men involved. Next up, we do have a tag team match between Legado del Fantasma against Breezango. We see an aggressive Fandango and Breeze off to start, just using that aggressiveness, and Legado tries to counteract that with their speed and quickness. And we do see, just before we go to the commercial break, as they're battling up top, Mendoza gets an enziguri on Fandango, knocks him off the top rope to the floor below as we go into the commercial break. Coming back from break, as they're battling on the outside, we see Fandango just throw Mendoza over the barricade. He gets back in the ring, tags in Tyler Breeze, and he goes on a nice little hot tag sequence that eventually ends in a nice little single leg Boston Crab. Wild eventually gets to the ropes to get out of that. But Breeze was pretty much on fire. We see as Fandango and Mendoza were still fighting on the outside. He hits a nice little super kick on Wild for a 2 count as well. But we see at the end of this match, they kind of snap Breeze's neck on the ropes, and they hit their nice little Russian leg sweep, kick to the face finisher. I don't know what they call it, but they hit it. 1, 2, 3, that is it. That's a win for Legado del Fantasma. Pretty fun tag team match, just a nice little sprint from these two teams. Legado have really come into their own, just in terms of like chemistry and like moves and stuff like that, and athleticism. They're definitely one of the more fun teams to watch in NXT, so this is definitely fun. But after the match, we see Escobar like, hey man, where's the Cruiserweight champion? Where's Jordan Devlin? You know, he was talking all this talk, and then we hear that music hit, and he comes out, and Jordan Devlin's like, hey bro, I'm not on leave no more. Like, you can't run away no more. Like, the real Cruiserweight champion is back, and I am ready to take my throne. And Escobar gets in the ring. He's like, you know what? You calling me a fake champion? You say I was filling in? Really? I redefined what it means to be a Cruiserweight wrestler. You don't even know, bro. You don't know. So we gonna do this on a stage that is fitting for this. They're gonna do it at NXT Stand and Deliver, just to unify those titles and see who the real Cruiserweight champion is. And at this, Devlin, he not playing around. He caught back on that joint. He was like, bah. And just, we see afterwards, Escobar is just bloody at the mouth. I don't know if that was real or not, but it looked mighty impressive and mighty fun. I am definitely looking forward to this match. It's definitely great to have Jordan Devlin back and to see an actual conclusion to this NXT Cruiserweight champion. Like, who's the best? It's been going on for like over a year now, so it's like we finally get a conclusion. So I'm looking forward to everything that they're gonna do at Takeover. I can't wait. Next up, we have a match between Zoe Stark and Dakota Kai. Long lockup and just physical lockup to start. They're just going all around the ring, just still locked up. Stark definitely using her strength a lot at the beginning to gain control, while Kai just using more of her speed and more of her cunning to kind of gain control as well. But as we go into the commercial break, we see Stark, as Kai's on the outside, hit a nice little springboard cross body to kind of take control going into the break. Coming back from break, and Kai is just in control with a couple of nice suplexes, but Stark is relentless. She is coming back. She hits some nice clotheslines, some lefts and rights, even hits a nice little suplex on their own. Both women did have a nice little battle on the outside and on the apron as well. That was really fun to watch. This sequence eventually ends with Stark trying to do a springboard back into the ring for an attack and eats a super kick to the jaw and another boot sitting down in the corner to match, but she does kick out at 2 because she's boss. But we do see the end of this match as they're fighting a bit more, and Stark is going up top for another attack. She's kicked off by Dakota Kai, up on the shoulders, go to kick in the corner, a 1, 2, 3. It is a win for Dakota Kai. And after the match, we also see, as they're looking to kind of inflict more damage on Zoe Stark, Io comes out. She has a contract in hand. Dakota's trying to get in the way, like, come on, man, what you doing out here? What you doing? And Io just kind of like, you know what, I'm not talking to you. I'm talking to Regal. She has the contract in hand for the NXT Women's Championship match. She just shoves it in her hands forcefully and then just walks away. And that's kind of the end of the segment. This was a pretty freaking fun match between Kai and Stark. Stark definitely more impressive in the ring, I would say, more so than her character is. I definitely haven't connected with her as much as I would like yet character-wise, but in the ring, she's a dynamo. She can really go, and Kai is just one of the more underappreciated women in the division. So definitely her getting her shine was much loved by your boy. But the lesser little thing in this, you know, Io and Raquel is coming up, and, you know, kind of building tension for that. I'm enjoying everything that they're doing so far, and all 4 women have a tag team match next week, so we'll see how that goes. But yeah, this was a pretty fun match between those two, and kind of sowing those seeds for Io and Raquel as well. So can't hate it at all. Next match we have Tommaso Ciampa versus Marcel Bartel. It's supposed to be a tag team match, but I think Thatcher might be a little bit of COVID, something. I don't know what it is, but we still got a one-on-one match. Ciampa's out early. He hits Eichner with a chair just to remove him from the sequence as him and Bartel just start off this match, and they're going at it. Just physical grappling, just strikes and all that. And Bartel does get the best of this beginning sequence with a little bit of assistance from Eichner as he comes back into the fold. But later on, Ciampa does start to come back, hits some nice clotheslines, hits a knee to Eichner as well as he tries to interfere again up on the apron. Gets Bartel, hits him with the Widow's Bell, a 1-2-3. Very short match, but a win for Tommaso Ciampa nonetheless. Not really a lot of action here to really go off of, but as we see the end of the match, Ciampa's just standing here, he's surveying the landscape and everything, and all of a sudden, the Imperium music starts to play. And the NXT UK champion, Walter, is back in NXT. Oh boy, he gets up on the apron, he removes the title, and they jump this man mercilessly. They take him down. It ends with a powerbomb from Walter, and Imperium stands tall. I have no idea where this is going. I have no clue. I really don't. But it is amazing to see Walter back stateside, back in NXT. I know he does not want to live in the US in any capacity, but boy, if Walter was in NXT or on Raw or on SmackDown, oh my gosh, I would love it so much. So anytime I see Walter on my screen, it's fantastic. I'm looking forward to see where this kind of goes with Ciampa and Thatcher and what kind of builds from this, but I'm looking forward to everything that they're doing at the moment. Earlier before we saw Regal was just like, hey, something happened to Adam Cole, and so they leave the building and just kind of follow that. And all of a sudden, we end up on the side of the road somewhere. Adam Cole is handcuffed just by a car. Kyle O'Reilly is put in the back of some van or something like that, maybe a police car. He was like, hey, he tried to run me off the road, man. Kyle O'Reilly tried to run me off the road. So we got a case of attempted vehicular homicide, really. And like Kyle O'Reilly's like, what you gonna do, man? You ain't gonna do nothing. You can't move. And so I have so many like questions and like pros and cons about this really, but I'm gonna just let it go for now. I'm not gonna think too analytically about it really. Just a weird little segment, but fun nonetheless. We do see as Regal ends back up at the CWCs, like he's getting both of them here next week because they're gonna settle this, and he has a way that he's gonna settle it, and I'm looking forward to what he has to say. But yeah, vehicular homicide attempt, yeah, not something you see every day in the wrestling world. So definitely an interesting segment to say the least, of course. Next up, we have a match between LA Knight and August Gray. This is Knight's debut, and he was looking good at first, just dominating everything, and that's until we see Bronson Reed comes out. He has his jacket that he got out the dressing room, Knight's jacket. It's a pretty nice jacket, by the way. I don't know if it's Gucci like they said it was, but it was a really nice jacket that Knight had. And Reed tries to put on Knight's jacket, and he's a thick boy, so it didn't really work out that well. He ripped it, just tore off the sleeves, everything like that, and Knight is just furious in the ring, and that allows Gray to get a little bit of offense in, but not a lot. Not a lot. He's knocked down. Knight hits a nice little headlock driver for the 1-2-3 and the win in a very short but impressive debut for LA Knight. Really short match. Just furthers the Bronson Reed feud a little bit heading into Takeover more than likely. So yeah, just a nice little segment just to further the feud and a good showcase of LA Knight in his first type of action here in NXT. So looking forward for what they continue to do, of course. And last up, we have the match for the NXT Tag Team Championships. We got Finn Balor and Karrion Kross versus the Brits, Danny Burch and Oney Lorcan. We do see Kross is in at the beginning of the match, and he's not playing around. He's just dominating everything, pretty much both guys. That's until he hits a double suplex on both men, and Burch he's not looking too hot at the moment. I don't know if that was a serious injury or a real injury or not, but he was out for pretty much the rest of the match as they kind of looked on befuddled, and we go into picture-in-picture as Balor and Lorcan got into the match. Both Balor and Lorcan are just going back and forth in the ring as we come back from commercial break. But Balor starts to gain control, gain the upper hand. He comes back with a couple of chops. They end up on the outside. Balor hits a nice little sling blade on Lorcan as well, and as he's picturing Lorcan for that drop kick, he hits it. But Scarlett is behind Lorcan, so once Balor hits the drop kick, she is knocked out. She goes flying to the entrance ramp, and Balor's like, "Dang, I really hit his girl. Dang, I didn't mean it. I didn't mean to do it. And at this, Karrion Kross is incensed. He just takes out Balor, slams him into the barricade multiple times, gets him back in the ring. And all of a sudden, Oney Lorcan comes out of nowhere with a running uppercut, and he pins Balor 1, 2, 3 to retain the tag team titles for his team. But Karrion Kross don't care. Like, he is equal opportunity at this point. He takes out Lorcan and Balor in the ring and just hits Balor with that nice little running forearm to end things. It just places the NXT title on them as they stand tall to end the show. Yeah, that's the episode of NXT. Okay tag match. Not really feeling, especially the first half of it kind of took it down a little bit with Karrion Kross just dominating and also Danny Burch going out for the rest of the match. But I think the chemistry and the interactions between Lorcan and Balor kind of saved it up a little bit, but definitely a weird ending and kind of an expected ending to the match, of course. But yeah, I'm looking forward. I'm loving the chemistry between Balor and Kross at the moment, both just dark, brooding, confident characters. So we'll see how that kind of comes to a head in the next couple weeks and at Stand and Deliver as well. But just an okay main event, not really feeling it too much, but just a great way to go after ending the show with Kross and Scarlett standing tall. And that is this episode of NXT. Weird little show, I will say, pertaining to the attempted vehicular homicide, the elephant in the room from Kyle O'Reilly. It felt a little bit forced to me, I think. I think they've only been feuding for like a month, and so now they're at the point where like, oh, I'm trying to kill this man. Like, I don't know, it felt kind of forced to me. So we'll kind of see where it kind of goes from here with Regal's announcement next week and where they go kind of going to Stand and Deliver. But I'm looking forward to that. I think the reintroduction of Jordan Devlin and just his chase of being the real cruiserweight champion with Escobar was really fun, as well as Walter just being on my screen in general. That's just making me happy. So I'm looking forward to, hopefully he fights at Takeover as well. I'm looking forward to that. But yeah, outside of that, Zoe Stark and Dakota Kai, nice little women's match that they had in the middle of the card, probably the best match of the night. That was just a lot of fun to see from both women. But yeah, weird show. They're moving forward to Stand and Deliver. They're moving these feuds forward, so that's definitely a plus, and we'll just see where they kind of go for it in the next couple of weeks. But that is going to be it from your boy. You will see more videos throughout the week. Go ahead and like and share and subscribe, everything like that. Tell your mama, tell your daddy, tell your granddaddy, tell your grandma, tell your dog, your cat, everybody pretty much to go ahead and watch us. But yeah, that's going to be it from me. I'm out. Peace. Y'all be easy. Stay safe. Love each other. Rest up. Get your exercise. Happy St. Patrick's Day and all that. Hope you wore your green today. You know, green and gold, you know. Peace out.